Welcome to Daily Book Insight. So, what does it really mean to be excellent at something? Today, we are unpacking the path to mastery, using Robert Greene's incredible work as our guide. We're going to map out the entire process, from that very first spark of interest all the way to the highest level of achievement. Let's start with a feeling I think we all know. Do you ever just feel like there's this gap between who you could be and what you're actually achieving? It's that nagging sense that you've got so much more in the tank, but it's just not showing up in your results. Well, according to Greene, that feeling isn't something to ignore. It's actually the starting gun for the entire journey. And the destination of that journey? It's mastery. But listen, this is way more than just being good at something. We're talking about a deep, profound sensation of being in control. It's where your intuition and your rational mind finally fuse together. And the big idea here is that this isn't some gift handed down to a lucky few. It's a destination, and there's a clear path to get there.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with the most important step, discovering what Greene calls your life's task. Then we'll dive into the nitty-gritty of an ideal apprenticeship, learn how to find your own creative voice, and finally, we'll explore that ultimate goal, fusing your intuition with your rational mind.
All right, Section 1, Discovering Your Life's Task. You see, Greene argues that the journey to mastery doesn't start with practice or studying. Nope. It starts with a deeply personal call to adventure, this pull from inside that you have to learn to hear.
We all have this inner force. Seriously, think way back to when you were a kid. What were you doing when you completely lost track of time? That's a huge clue. This inner calling is connected to what makes you, you. Your life's task is that one area where putting in the effort feels energizing, not draining. It's about tuning out all the noise from society telling you what you should do and listening to what you were built to do.
So this leaves you with a choice, a real fork in the road. You've got the safe path, right? It follows the rules, gets you a pat on the back, but often feels hollow. Then you have the true path. This one follows your inner voice. And yeah, it can feel a little scary, a little uncertain, because it's yours and yours alone. But this is the only path where true mastery can begin.
Section 2, the ideal apprenticeship. So you found your calling. Amazing. Now comes the phase that, let's be honest, most people try to skip. This is where you have to submit to reality and trade your big dreams for the tough, hands-on work of building a solid foundation. And this quote from Greene just nails it. The whole point of this phase isn't a paycheck or the fancy title. The real prize is internal. It's about transforming your mind, your character. You're learning how to learn, how to handle pressure, how to be disciplined. That internal change is worth so much more than any external reward. It's the bedrock for everything else.
Greene breaks the apprenticeship down into 3 modes. Think of them like gears you shift through. First, you're in passive mode, deep observation. Then you shift into practice mode, skills acquisition. And finally, you get to active mode, experimentation. Let's look at each one.
Okay, first mode, it's all about absorption. You have to be humble here and just admit you don't know anything yet. Your job is to be a sponge. Watch how things really work. Listen to the unwritten rules. Soak up all the little details that everyone else misses. The urge to jump in and show off is strong, but you have to resist. Your only goal is to understand.
Once you've got the lay of the land, it's time for the grind. This is the practice mode. We're talking rigorous repetition, drills, all the tedious work that builds your core skills. It can be super frustrating, I know, but you absolutely cannot skip it. This is how you burn that knowledge into your muscle memory, which frees up your brain for more creative thinking later on. And finally, after all that observing and practicing, you've earned the right to start experimenting. This is the active mode. You start taking small risks, trying things your own way, and seeing what happens. And here's the cool part. Mistakes are no longer failures. They're just data. They become your best teachers, guiding you toward a way deeper understanding.
So, can you do all this on your own? Sure, but getting a mentor is like a superpower. They've already walked the path, right? So they can give you that targeted feedback you need, help you sidestep the rookie mistakes that can waste years, and keep you focused. Honestly, finding the right mentor might be the single biggest shortcut on the whole path to mastery. Now, throughout this whole apprenticeship, your biggest enemies are going to be lurking inside your own head. Greene points out 4 major traps. You've got impatience, wanting results yesterday, grandiosity, where you're chasing fame instead of skill, ego, that little voice that whispers, "I already know this," and inflexibility, which makes you get stuck in your ways. Just knowing these traps exist is the first step to avoiding them.
Section 3. Finding your creative voice. If you can successfully navigate that apprenticeship and avoid those traps, you come out the other side a different person. You've learned the rules so well that now you're ready to start breaking them.
This is where all that hard work really starts to pay off. You know the fundamentals so deeply that you can see past them. You start asking, wait a minute, is there a better way to do this? Your experiments get bolder, more confident, and they start to reflect your unique personality. You're not just playing the game anymore. You're starting to change the rules.
Section 4. Fusing intuition and rationality. This brings us to the final, almost mystical stage of the journey. This is the peak of the mountain, where you unlock a higher form of intelligence. This is the ultimate prize.
You know, masters often describe their reality differently. They don't just think faster, they literally see more. Einstein didn't just see equations, he had an intuitive feel for the entire universe. Bobby Fischer didn't just see chess pieces, he could feel the invisible forces on the board, moves and moves ahead. It's a total fusion of logic and intuition.
So how do you get there? Through a massive amount of time. I'm sure you've all heard of the 10,000-hour rule. And yeah, it's a good benchmark. But Greene says it's more about years of intense immersion. We're talking a decade, maybe more. There are just no shortcuts to this level of perception. It has to be earned.
At this level, consciously thinking is just too slow. Your experience is so baked into your nervous system that you develop this intuitive feel for your craft. You enter that state of flow, and the right move just happens, almost on its own. Your rational mind and your intuition are no longer two different things. They've become one single, incredibly powerful tool.
Section 5. Your Journey to Mastery. Okay, we've walked the entire path together, from that first little inner calling all the way to the peak of intuitive power. So let's just quickly summarize the key stages of this amazing journey.
So here it is, the whole path in a nutshell. First, discover your calling. Second, submit to a long apprenticeship and try to find a mentor. Third, awaken your own creative voice. And finally, after years of dedication, fuse your intuition with your rationality. That's it. That's the process for excellence.
And that really brings us to the core message here. Mastery isn't some gift that you're either born with or you're not. It's a choice. It's a choice you make day after day. It's a process that demands patience and discipline. So the only real question left to ask is, what will you choose to master?
We really hope this breakdown of the path to mastery was helpful for you. If you got some value out of this explainer, we'd love it if you'd like, subscribe, and share it with any friends or family who are also looking to upgrade their life. Thanks so much for joining us.